Like, I'm gonna call the Uber back home. I'm not entering the car to go back home with you. I'm not going with you back home. And he was like, why? I was like, I heard what you said to my driving instructor who was supposed to take my driving test. Like, I literally heard what you said to him. Like, why would you say that to him? Why would you say that to him in the middle of my test? Like, do you know how much I paid for this? Like, tell him to fail me. Like, why? So he was like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know you heard that. I was just telling him to be more careful because you're still learning. I was like, you had no right to tell him whatever you just told him. That was for him to decide. You had no right to tell him. And immediately I had called the driving school. I had let them know that this was what happened. You know, this was what happened. This guy literally just told my driving instructor to film me on my test day. After spending almost $300, he told me my driving instructor to film on my test day. Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. It's Madina and I'm back with another video. If you are new to my channel, girl, guy, be sure to hit the red subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell notification so you can be notified each and every time I post a new video. Like, share, comment, and yeah, let's get right into the video, guys. So today's video is gonna be another story time video, guys. I realize you guys love my story times, and these are crazy because these are actually real life experiences that happened to me. Your girl is only 23 years old, but when I say I've seen it all, I have seen it all. I have seen it all, guys, and I'm gonna be sharing with you guys all the tea. So today I'm gonna be sharing with you guys my worst driving instructor, the guy who made me fail my first driving test. Yes, you heard that right. A driving instructor, a person who I hired to teach me, made me fail my first driving test. And let's get right into it. Okay, you guys know I always love to give names to all these individuals. So let's give this individual, let's give him a Charles. Let's call him Charles, okay? So this dude, I was like browsing online, you know, having my phone, searching online and stuff, looking for a driving school, looking for driving instructors, because I really wanted to get my driver's license. So I was searching online, my phone, browsing, blah blah blah, looking for a driving school. I came across this school. I'm not going to mention the name of the school because the school did nothing wrong. The driving instructor did something wrong. I came across this school. I saw the price. Now I was like, oh, that is a good pricing for a school, and then you get to use your car to test drive. Like, wow. So I went over to the school. I booked a couple of days, and mind you, before this day I was already like learning how to drive with a friend's car, and the friend had to like travel out of state and stuff, so I couldn't like, you know, continue learning with her car. She had to travel out of state, so I had to definitely get another driving instructor or just someone else to help me drive. So no, there was no one else available, so I had to go to a driving school, guys. Driver's license is something that's very, very crucial, especially here in Georgia. If you have your driver's license, you know that you're one step ahead of the game. So I was very happy I did that. I was very happy I was able to finally get my driver's license going. And guys, it's Monday morning and I receive a text message from this dude. Hi, I'm downstairs. It's Charles, your driving instructor, and I'm downstairs. I was like, cool, I'll be there in like 2 minutes. I'm already ready. So I went down there and I was like, hi. The first thing he said was like, get to the front seat, like get to the driver's seat. That was the very first thing he told me. I was like, hi, good morning. But guys, even to give me a smile, he never gave me a smile. He was just like, get to the driver's seat. In my mind I was like, what the hell, did your dog die or something? I was like, what the hell? So I was like, okay, you know, my mood just started to change a little bit because I was so excited that morning, and then when he first said that, I just started to go down. Like my mood just started to drain. You know, when you have a great morning and someone just says something bad and you're just like, yeah, so that's exactly how I was feeling. And then so when I got to the driver's seat and he was like, tell me about your driving experience, and I was like, okay, I have been driving with my friend's car for about 3 weeks now. We used to go every day for 2 hours in like a parking lot and just like learn how to drive. He was like,
name the parts of this car.
And I was like, first of all I turned and I looked at him And he was like, name the parts of this car. And I was like, this is the steering wheel, this is the gear selector, this button is for this, that is for that. I just started like naming the parts like randomly and stuff. And he was like, okay, good. Now we're gonna drive and we're gonna go to the main road. Are you comfortable driving on the main road? I'm like, no, because I've never driven on the main road before.
He's like, what are you gonna learn?
And throughout all this time, my mind is just like, what the hell is going on with him? Like, why is he being so rude? So he was being so rude, like, and he was like, start the car, and I started the car, and then we started driving slowly. I think I kind of like, I almost like hit a bump or something. Like, it was like a hill and there was like a little bump there which I didn't see, so I almost like hit the bump. He was like,
what are you doing? What are you, don't you see that right there? Don't you see it?
I was like, I didn't see it. He was like,
well, what are your eyes for? Like, what are you doing? Didn't you see that right there? Turn the steering wheel.
I was straight yelling in the car. I was like, I turned and asked him like, what is your problem? And then he was like, what do you mean what's my? And I was like, what is your problem? Because you're being so rude right now. He was like, well, I'm here to teach you. Am I not? I'm not here to pamper you. I'm not your boyfriend, so I'm not here to pamper you. I'm not here to pet you or whatever. I was like, what? Alright, girl. I just kept my cool. I kept my cool because I knew what I wanted. I knew I just needed a driver's license so bad, and I already paid so much money for this. I was not about to like. I knew I could call them to give me back my money, but I didn't wait. I didn't want to have to wait for another like rescheduling or whatever. So that was the first day, you know. And then yeah, we just like we had that day completed. So I was driving and stuff, especially on the main road, and he was like,
you're going out of your lane, you're going out of like get back into your lane, you're out of your lane, get back into your.
And he just kept saying all these silly things, and we drove round and round, and we came back to the apartment where I was at. The second day we did the same thing. We came back to the apartment. The third day was kind of like the second to the last day because I had booked for 4 days. So the third day we did the same thing. You know, he had the same attitude throughout. You know, he had the same freaking attitude throughout. He took me for the parallel parking, and he was like,
I'm gonna explain this once and I'm not gonna explain it again.
This is how it works, and that's it. I'm not gonna explain this parallel parking again. You're gonna get it once or you don't get it. I was like, what? Like, parallel parking? For real? Parallel parking is literally one of the hardest parkings ever, and you want to explain it just once? Like, what is wrong with you? So he was extremely rude, especially on this third day, because the third day was for like parallel parking, and then I couldn't parallel park the first time. He told me to step out of the car. So when I stepped out of the car, I was like, well, what's going on? Do you want to show me something? And he told me to take a run. Guys, he told me to run around, like it was like an open field. He told me to run around and come back, and I was like, why? I don't need to run. Like, why are you asking me to run right now? And he was like,
just take a run. You're probably stressed. You need to relax a little bit. You just need to run.
I'm not running. Like, I'm not gonna run. You're either showing me this or you're not showing me. I've tried to deal with your attitude throughout these days, but you're either showing me this or you're not showing me. He was like, you're not ready to learn. Like, your mind is somewhere else. You're distracted. That's why I'm telling you to take a run around this field so you can be a little more relaxed and then come back. I was like, that is not the reason. The reason why is because you're just making me feel so uncomfortable by shouting and yelling and just making me feel so bad about not knowing how to do these stuffs right, and you just make me feel so freaking uncomfortable. So I was like, I'm not taking a run around the field. I'm not. You're either showing me this or you take me home. Like, I'm not taking a run or anything. Like, you don't have control over me. So what happened was, after that, he showed me again about 2 times, and then he took me home after I had known how to like parallel park, right? So then I was like, okay, cool, probably everything is okay right now. He's a little bit cool. He showed me how to parallel park and stuff. So the 4th day was the day that we were supposed to train like for about 2 or 3 hours, and then I go take my test that same day. You know, I'd already been practicing for like a while, and I knew how to drive and stuff, and I was like so confident that I'm gonna do this. So what happened was, we went for training that day and stuff or whatever. He was still being a little bit angry, and he was like, I saw on the schedule that you have your driving tests made for today. I was like, yeah, why? He was like, nothing, good for you. I was like, cool. So I didn't know he had other plans in mind, guys. I'm gonna come to that in just a bit. But so he was like, okay, cool. So I was like, what is he up to? What the hell is he up to? So basically, we went for like the driving practice and all that, and it was all cool, all fun and stuff, until the time when I had to go for my driving test. So when I went for my driving test, you know, we went into the DDS and stuff. I gave in my paperwork, filled out my application and stuff, took my picture, felt all cute and happy, and I was ready to take that test. You know, I was ready for the driving instructor at the test center to let me know if I had failed or I had passed. Like, after taking my picture and everything, I went back. You know, we were instructed to go to the back of the building and just like park over there and just wait for a driving test instructor to come, you know, take my driving test. So while in the car, I was trying to go like over some little things with him. I was trying to ask him a few questions. I was like, when doing this, you gotta do that. When doing that, I was just asking some few random questions about the driving stuff we just learned. So I had no idea he actually had another plan in mind, guys. This dude, when my like test center driving instructor came to get me for my test, what happened was this dude told me to remain in the car. I know I was supposed to remain in the car, but once the driving test instructor came, I was like, can I see your documents? So he took my documents and he checked them through. He took like all my documents I had with me, you know, he had my social security, everything. He took them with him, and he was like checking them through, and he was like just making sure I had all my documents for the driving test. So this guy who was in the car with me, the first guy, you know, the guy, the whole child situation, who, yeah, him, he told me not to get out of the car. I was like, but I wasn't even gonna get out of the car. So the windows were down because I had to like give my documents over to the test center driving instructor who was supposed to take me on my driving test. So I handed my documents over to him, and the windows were still down, and he was standing just next to me, and he was like checking the documents and stuff. So the guy, Charles, who was sitting right next to me, and he was like,
wind the windows back up.
He was like, just wind the windows up and don't get out of the car. I was like, but why? Like, he has my documents. Isn't he supposed to give the documents back to me? He was like, okay, cool. Just wait for him to give the documents back to you and then wind it up and don't get out of the car. I felt like something was really going on. Like, something smelled so fishy. I felt like, what? So the guy then gave my documents back to me. And then he told me to like put my blinker on, stuff like that, just to make sure that my blinker is good, you know, when we're doing the test and stuff. And that's when this dude, Charles, told me to wind the glass up, and he told me to stay in the car. So he got out of the car and he went to go talk to my driving instructor behind my back. So he went to go talk to my driving instructor, and he was like, he didn't know I was hearing him because he thought the glasses were up, but I kind of wind the glass down a little bit to like eavesdrop on what he was saying. And he was like, do not pass her. She's not ready to be on the road. She's not ready to be on the road. Do not pass her yet. She doesn't even know how to park. She doesn't know how to drive, blah, blah, blah. She's not ready to be on the road. And I heard him say that. I was like, what is he doing? And why would he even say that to my driving instructor or the person who was supposed to do my driving test? Like, why would he even say that? That's what was going through my mind. I was like, why would he even say that? Why would he even say that? Why would he even say that? So basically, got out and he told him, do not pass her. She's not ready. I told her she's not ready, but she said to come to take the test today, but she's not ready, blah, blah, blah. Do not pass her because I know she's not ready to be on the road. And the driving instructor was like, all right, I've heard you, but just let that be for me to decide if she's ready or not. But he was like, she's not ready, she's not ready. And he kept saying that over and over. So then I just sat in the car and just acted like I haven't heard anything. So like the official driving instructor, the one who was supposed to take me on my test, he came now and he sat in the car and he just went through like everything with me. He told me about like the rules. He told me what's gonna make me to be immediately disqualified from getting my driver's license, you know, like crossing the red light and stuff like that. Like he just went over all those things with me. So as I was sitting there, I was like as soon as I heard him say those things to my driving instructor who was supposed to take me on my test, my mood immediately changed. Like, it just literally affected my mind, and I literally just switched, guys. Like, I just switched. I was like, I was so distracted while doing my test, and I was like, why would he say that? Wow, what did I just hear what he said? Like, I was just thinking a lot about a lot of things and stuff, and I was just like, what the hell? Why the hell would he just say that? So yeah, basically I went for my test, and then I was like shaking. I was shaking and stuff because first of all, I was so mad at my driving instructor. I was distracted. I was so mad about what he said, and then I was shaking and stuff, and then I failed my driving test. The driving instructor was like, oh, you didn't make it this time around, but you're a good driver. Just give it a little more practice and you will get there. And I was like, I could have gotten this today had I not heard what I just heard from the guy, from the guy who was my driving instructor, the Charles guy. For him going outside to say all those things about me to the person who was supposed to do my driving test, it was just like crazy. So I did fail the test my first time, and then when I finished, I went, like, they told me to come back into the office, redirected me to get some documents or paperwork. And then when I got finished, and then he was supposed to take me back home, and I was like, I'm gonna call the Uber back home. I'm not entering that car to go back home with you. I'm not going with you back home. And he was like,
why?
I heard what you said to my driving instructor who was supposed to take my driving test. Like, I literally heard what you said to him. Like, why would you say that to him? Why would you say that to him in the middle of my test? Like, do you know how much I paid for this? Like, why would you tell him to fail me? Like, why? So he was like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know you heard that. I was just telling him to be more careful because you're still learning. I was like, you had no right to tell him whatever you just told him. That was for him to decide. You had no right to tell him. And immediately I had called the driving school. I had let them know that this was what happened. This was what happened. This guy literally just told my driving instructor to fail me on my test day. After spending almost $300, he told me, my driving instructor, to film on my test day. And they were like, oh, I'm so sorry. We're so sorry this happened. We're going to get it fixed or whatever. I was like, can I get a refund or something? Because this is just nothing. They were like, oh, they can only give me $100 back, blah, blah, blah. But they are so sorry that this happened. But they're going to take care of the situation. I'm like, how are you going to take care of the situation? Are you going to fire him? Because first of all, he was so rude to me from day one. He would shout, he would yell in the car, and he was so freaking rude. So they were like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. If you want to book another appointment with us, we're going to give you a different driving instructor, and we're going to like give you a discount or whatever. Yeah, guys, so that was pretty much how my driving instructor, who was supposed to help me learn how to drive, made me fail my driving test, which was so freaking crazy. But yeah, it did happen to me, and I was so traumatized by it. He made me cry. I felt worthless after failing my test. He made me stay in my room for almost the whole day without talking to anyone, without eating anything, because I was traumatized. I've been waiting so hard to get this test done and pass and get my license. You don't know how traumatized it is to just have this person just ruin everything for you in just boom, a blink of an eye. After spending all these weeks and days training, he just boom ruins everything for you. So I was so mad. But yeah, I had to reschedule my driving test with the same driving school, but with a different driving instructor. Like, she was so better. She was so much better. She was so much nicer, and I did pass my driving test. But that was how I failed my driving test the first time, guys. This was just a little story time I had for you guys, because I know you guys love my story times. If you did enjoy this video, be sure to give me a huge thumbs up, because that's going to help me a lot. Comment, subscribe, and also share this video to all your friends and family. Tell them about my channel, because I'm trying to get myself out there. But yeah, like I always say, I love you guys so much. I love you guys so much. You guys don't understand how much I love each and every one of you who click through my videos. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.